All right, and welcome. This is Kyle McGregor here calling from Southern California. Wanted to welcome everybody here to our Team Empire business communication tonight. We're going to be talking about opportunity. We're talking about how people can actually financially benefit from timing of an industry and the right timing of what we have going on here with an industry that's poised for massive growth here. And the gentleman bringing aboard is somebody that I've known for the last 18 years, actually one of my mentors in this space when I first was learning about this concept of leverage and of passive income, and just inspiration to hear from stage and see him grow through the years, and to be able to build a solid friendship and a relationship over the years, and it become really an equal, just building over time, and really just locking arms and finding timing of an industry that's poised for massive growth, that we can build something phenomenal, magnificent together. And we're going to talk about just simple business concepts today. And if somebody resonates with you tonight and you hear what we're talking about, you see what we're doing, and you want to join with really the movement or what we have going on, not just in the nutrition space, but also on multiple different facets of different verticals in different marketplaces. And this is just the beginning of something magnificent that we're growing and building over time. So that being said, I can bring on a good friend of mine, a gentleman that really doesn't need much introduction by himself, but really not just seeing millions in financial benefits and gains for his own family, but also has created so many other success stories. And I truly believe that a true leader, it knows how to create leaders and leadership and building people. And that's the true value, is knowing how to help inspire people to generate and create something magnificent in their lives. And there's no one better that knows how to do that than Mr. John Malott. You in here with us, sir?
Yes, sir. Kyle, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Thanks for being here, my friend.
All right. Hey, guys, you're not going to be able to see me. Unfortunately, I'm in an area where my signal is a little shaky, so I don't want to take a chance here in the video messing up our connection. So anyways, Kyle, appreciate you, brother, and all that you do. And Kyle, what I'd like to do tonight is maybe go back and forth with you on a couple of things I want to discuss. And guys, we're just going to have a conversation. You know, for those that know me, I don't have any fancy footwork. I don't have, I won't use a lot of big words tonight. I don't have those in my vocabulary. I just want to, share some information. And if you like what you hear, great. If not, no big deal. But it's interesting because right before I got on the call, I was on Instagram and I just watched a video, and I probably shouldn't have watched it right before I got on this call, but I watched a video of a lady that worked for a company for 13 years. And, she was in tears telling her story, how she just got fired from that company after 13 years working with a company. And just, she was obviously shocked and she was distraught. And, and it's interesting to me today that, I think the big takeaway for me was not the fact that the company fired her, because we see it all the time. We've been seeing it for years, that, companies don't have a lot of loyalty, to the employees. And the caption for the video was, if you died tomorrow, the company would have a job, placement advertisement, for your position tomorrow. There'd be very little mourning, from the company. They would just continue to move on, and a lot of times that we think we're indispensable, and that our degrees, from college protect us, from these type of things. But it's really not the case anymore. We live in a new economy. We live in a new society. And what we're talking about tonight is about opportunity. And what I've discovered is that, most of us did not take a class in school called How to Recognize an Opportunity 101. So, because they don't teach that class, we wouldn't even know what an opportunity looks like if it fell out of the sky and landed smack dab in our laps. And I think the biggest thing that got me in that video is that she was shocked that she was fired after 13 years. I think there's been enough proof for the last, 2 decades that this continues to happen. It started with the blue collar workers, and we just expected that if you were a blue collar worker, steel worker, auto worker, whatever, that you were probably not going to be with the company for the rest of your life, like our great grandparents. And these things just continue to happen. And then we saw, just recently, we don't have to go that far back, guys, to look at like 2008, when the economy, crushed the white collar workers, the highly educated government workers, when the government couldn't pay their bills, we had government shutdowns. I mean, this stuff, this stuff is in front of us every single day. Now, I know it's easy sometimes to bury our heads in the sand and think it's not going to happen, to me, or, sometimes our own egos will get in the way, but it's happening, and it continues to happen. Even in a booming economy, this is happening right now when we're in arguably one of the biggest expansions in U.S. history has happened, since we pulled out of a pretty massive recession. And people are still struggling. Look, 20 years ago, there wasn't a term called side hustle. It was pretty simple. The process was clear. You go to school, you get a good education, then you go get a good job. And then that job, you work that job and then you go greet at Walmart and, you live happily ever after. I mean, it was kind of the way things went. And today you don't have a choice. I mean, we don't have a choice. You've got to have a side hustle. You've got to have something else going on, something that, number one, is, for supplementing, so, today we're talking to people that have 2-3 jobs, in one household, and trying to make ends meet. And I'm not here to say if it's right or wrong. It is what it is. It's the way things are. And so tonight, talking about what I believe to be the most relevant side hustle, for supplementation on the planet. But I would also go a step further that I believe what we're about to discuss is probably the most significant wellness company on the planet. So from a standpoint of longevity, a standpoint of anti-aging, a standpoint of just living longer and feeling better while we're living. And you guys know this, that, it's very difficult to get wealthy if you're not feeling good, if your health is in jeopardy, if you haven't taken care of that. And ask anybody that that's ever gotten major illness, that ever got majorly sick, that they would be willing to give up every dollar they had to get their health back. And, you've heard the stories of Steve Jobs, later in his life after he, clearly, said that he had neglected his health in the production of Apple and building Apple. And, his life was, shortened, probably because of that. And so it's just not worth it. And, today, if you can find an opportunity, if you can find something that can impact people's lives, by the way, I would never do a business today that doesn't have an impact on people's lives. There's a lot of things you can do for money, but, there's a whole nother setup when you can do something for fulfillment, when you can do something that really has an impact on other people's lives. And look at what Warren Buffett invests in. When you look at, one of the richest men in the world and the companies that he invests, for his side hustles or, well, obviously, much, much bigger than that. His side hustle will produce $1 billion this year. Our side hustles, might produce $20,000, for the year. So it's all relative, but the companies that he invests in, the company that he invests his time and his resources and energy in are companies that have sustainability, that they impact people's lives. And those are the companies that tend to do very well over long periods of time. So tonight, what I want to discuss is what I believe is the most significant wellness company on the planet. It's truly a disruptor. For those that have been on these calls with us in the past, we talk a lot about disruption. And we talk about disruption in a good way, not the kind of disruption I did when I was in high school, that was definitely negative and disrupting, myself and other people's ability to learn, but talking about disruption, from the standpoint of having an impact, like what Uber did to the taxi business, took a old school established boys club that was not innovative, was not bringing costs down, was cumbersome, and apparently was ripe for disruption. And they didn't like the fact that they were being disrupted, and they fought it tooth and nail. And of course now, the consumer has spoke. In the end, the marketplace always speaks. The marketplace always decides what's real, what isn't, what's relevant, what isn't. And when I was approached back in November about what is now a company that we launched in January, and it's having such a massive impact. I've never been involved with something that had so little resistance. And I believe because the market had been educated, similar to what happened with bottled water. Guys, there was a time when we were drinking out of our faucets. I remember as a kid, I would drink right out of the garden hose, in the backyard. Today, it's weird. If I go to someone's house and they hand me a cup of water that they took out of their faucet, I might drink it to be courteous, but it's just weird. I feel something because we are educated over and over and over that tap water is bad, bottled water is good. We're paying more for a gallon of water than we would pay for, a gallon of milk or a gallon of gasoline these days. I mean, it's crazy to me. And what's happening right now is we're being educated on a lot of things. Number one, the medical profession is turning to the use of DNA. DNA today, when we first heard of DNA, we saw they were using it to solve crimes. They're figuring out who committed crimes. We're finally releasing people from prisons because DNA testing showed that they clearly were not guilty of these crimes. And then we found people that were guilty of crimes. So we started to see this hit the scenes. And in the last 24 months, the explosion of using DNA in all kinds of different areas, but particularly in the medical field, where they're now looking at DNA, the blueprint, what makes us us. Of course, we can see where we came from. We know that the color of our eyes, the color of our skin, it's all because of that DNA. But we're also catching on now that as the DNA deteriorates, as the telomeres, those little hairs on the DNA start to shorten, we start to see specific illnesses, degeneration, aging, it starts to happen. And when those hairs are gone, you're pretty much done. So now there's so much research that's come to light, and there's so much promise behind this that you're seeing what's happening in the medical field, where in the future we won't treat brain cancer or lung cancer differently. We'll go to the source. We'll go to the root. We already know this is the way. When it comes to, just the way we live our lives, if you can go to the source, if you can go to the root of the problem, instead of putting a Band-Aid on something, instead of having surgery, or instead of, providing a prescription drug that temporarily fixes one problem, but while it's fixing one problem, it creates a whole nother set of problems. So you keep taking those drugs, and these drug companies continue to produce more and more drugs, yet we're getting unhealthier and unhealthier than ever before. But now we got serious evidence, serious science that's showing us there's a whole better way to do this. But what if you found a way to take that DNA and provide prevention so that you wouldn't find yourself on prescription drug medication when you got older, or you wouldn't find yourself having surgery for some of these preventable type things? And that's what I saw when I saw Uforia for the first time. And Kyle, I know that most of the people on the line are a lot like we are. We want to look better. We want to feel better. We want to live longer. I don't think there's anybody on here saying, I want to look like crap. I want to feel like crap. I want to have sleepless nights and anxiety and frustration my entire life. We're all looking for something. I mean, if there was a pill that I could take that would give me a six-pack of set of abs right now, trust me, I would go buy that pill. If Kyle could go to the gym for me and work out and I got the muscle, I'd be like, sign me up for that gym. We all want that, but it's not the reality of the situation. So I know, Kyle, like me, when you saw this, you were blown away, and you had built massive organizations and have done things that most people have never done. So you've seen a lot in the marketplace. But give me your take when you first saw the product of Uforia. What was it that stood out for you? What made you say, hey, man, this is something that I've got to be involved in?
Well, the biggest thing for me was it's just a common sense concept, right? When you can ask a question, you can look at your DNA and know exactly what you need to look, feel, and perform your best. Would you want to know? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want to know what they need to do in order for them to operate optimally, or them to give the things that they need for their bodies to be able to ward off the things that could be detrimental to the health. That's huge. Right? Think about this. I was just telling the story to somebody that actually is coming aboard here, a big builder that sees the bigger picture. Is my dad just had his birthday a couple of days ago, right? He died 5 years ago. Never drank, never smoked, never had any type of issue in that regard. Never even swore. In my entire life, I never heard him swear one time. Amazing. He's my hero. Amazing guy. But guess what? He inherited something from his parents, which I actually inherited myself, which was congestional heart failure, which it has a cardiovascular experience, right? And it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you eat, you probably cannot eat the right type of raw things that you need in the food space to be able to ward off some of these things that we inherit. Because blindly he was taking things that he had heard was good for him, but inevitably he died because he could not ward off that thing he inherited from his parents. Which now, because at the end of the day, on his deathbed, he was saying, Kyle, if I could just eat the right things, if I could just take the right things, if you give me my new heart, it's sad. It's sad. But at the end of the day, I know that because of science, the last 20 years, we have found ways to be able to actually take the right types of things to where we can ward off these morphisms, these variances in our DNA that actually could end our life early. Like my cousin died of heart failure at 50 years old, massive heart attack in a shower. right? I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm very passionate to be able to share this with people. Everything from cholesterol to your mitochondria, to your energy levels, to your brain function, you name it. We are attacking the top 18 actionable SNPs, these things that we inherit, that we actually affect our health, that we can give our opportunity to have a longevity of life. And whether you feel something right here, right now or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to be on this no matter what. Why? Because I know if I give my body the right raw materials, it'll start to operate optimally, right? And we just wanted to give people an opportunity to experience that. So when I went over with you and met Terry LaCour, met Ron Williams, guys, this was game changing. When John brought this to my attention, I felt like a young child. Like I had no idea this even conceptually existed. It just made common sense to me. Like, how did I not know that I was blindly trying to take stuff that was trying to make me healthy, but I had no clue? That's why I have this whole cupboard full of crap or stuff that my friends are telling me that I should take because it's healthy. But there was no science behind it to really indicate that my body is different than yours. Yours is different than mine. But now we have it. Now we have the solution. If you can find a need in the marketplace and you can find a solution to it, you can make a fortune. Guys, we have the opportunity to make a fortune and bless people's lives along the way. John, this is why I'm here with you, bro. That's why I'm locking on. We're going to make a fortune here together.
I love it. A couple things that you said that just, really, really drives this point home is, you think about even 20 years ago, I read an article that to get the same nutrient value from a peach today, or if you ate a peach 20 years ago, to get the same nutrient value today, you'd have to eat 20 peaches. You start thinking about how much greens do you have to eat to get the proper nutrition that your body actually needs. Now, of course, you can take all kinds of things, and like you said, for a lot of us, it's blind nutrition. It's guessing. It's throwing a dart at the board and hoping you hit the bullseye. I mean, these days are coming to an end. We're all smart enough, and by the way, it doesn't matter how smart we are. The technology has advanced to the point where you can now. We have the science that shows exactly. Look, if you have a weakness in your system, it's not a death sentence. So because you've got the heart situation in my family, the cholesterol challenges run deep in through our generations. But in your family, it's the heart thing. But it's not a death sentence for Kyle. But what it is, it's a warning sign that says you've got to make some decisions, because here's what we can't count on. We can't count on the air quality necessarily. Here I'm in Arizona, and we just had another warning about the air quality, saying basically don't go outside and work out. Don't ride your bike outside right now because of the air quality so bad. I can't control that, but it does have a potential impact on me. The food we eat, sometimes the chemicals they're putting in our food, the water we drink, all these things. But here's the bigger one that is getting harder and harder for us to control. It's the stress levels. So if you have a built-in variance, a built-in weakness in your system that starts to manifest, starts to show itself during times when you're not eating right or when there's stress, things like that. If there's a hurricane coming towards your home, what are you going to do? You're going to board up the weaknesses. You're going to get some plywood and why wouldn't you do that for your body instead of guessing, instead of playing games, instead of thinking, oh, I've got this, or I'm going to eat the salad today. There's a much better way to do it where you can pinpoint, you can target your nutrition thing. You can get truly customized nutrition. I'm not talking about personalized nutrition where you put your name on a label, which of course we do. I'm talking about customizing the ingredients inside the product specifically to what your DNA, to what your genetic disposition suggests you should be taking, and not having the potential of just having expensive pee or even worse, toxicity issues. And then, of course, guys, this is what I'm here for, is because there's a business. When you start to look at, if you can deliver value into the marketplace, if you can find a gaping hole in the marketplace and then fill it better than anybody else up to that point, you will write your own ticket. This whole industry that we're talking about, preventive, taking raw, plant-based, vegan, superfoods, herbs, spices, plus vitamins and minerals, having a machine that's capable of making 400 million different variations. Of course, Kyle's product is different than mine. My wife's product is different. Kyle's got a twin brother. His product is different than his twin brother's, where it's truly customized to us. This is a massive gaping hole that's happening in the marketplace. 24 months ago, this industry didn't even exist. Out of nowhere, we're talking about what, a $600 to $800 billion industry that we're on the forefront of. When you talk about first movers advantage, this has been the claim to fame. I've made millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, because I found myself in the right place, at the right time with the right people. But it pales in comparison to the hundreds of millions of dollars that my team made. So I've made tens and tens of millions of dollars. The team made hundreds of millions of dollars because we positioned ourselves in front of a trend. We got in front. Most people consume on the back end, or they get involved on the back end. It's that, you're supposed to buy low and sell high. Today, maybe if you're like me, you can relate. Well, man, I found myself buying high and having to sell low. Here's an opportunity because you're hearing it first and foremost before the masses, get a hold of it. Over the next 18 months, this becomes completely self-evident. But here's what I know for sure. Competition is coming. Look, GNC just recently announced that they're going to start doing DNA tests. GNC will now provide a DNA test. And what they say is that they'll customize your nutrition. But what are they really doing? They're taking a bunch of bottles off the shelf. Same thing Kyle and I were doing. Same thing probably a lot of us on this call were doing. They'll get the DNA test and take 5, 10, 15 bottles off the shelf. You'll take those bottles home. You'll take 10, 15 different bottles of stuff. I was already doing that. That's not true customization. That's not geared towards me. That's still pre-packaged, pre-processed, pre-labeled, pre-blind nutrition, where what we're saying is that we'll build a product specifically customized to you and to who you are. Guys, this changes the game completely. It forces this old school, established nutrition industry to change its ways. It has no choice. They've got to. Now, the DNA test is just one piece of the puzzle. Where we've taken to a next level is by building a machine that takes the barcode from that DNA test and takes those 100 different plant-based superfoods, herbs, spices, plus vitamins and minerals, and mix them together to create my unique formula, your unique formula. Guys, think about where this goes in the future. Think about the naturopath's office. Think about the doctor's office. Think about the vision of this whole concept is one day when a child is born, we'll swab that child's cheeks and we'll know what vaccines they should get, if any vaccines. We'll know where they should shore up because there's some inherent weaknesses in that child where we're giving supplementation right out the gate instead of waiting till later on and then dealing with the issue after the fact. Why not prevent the issues up front? Because here's what I know for sure. We're going to pay one way or the other. We're going to pay for wellness or we're going to pay for sickness. One way or the other, we are going to pay. So some people think it's okay because I'm confused. I'm just going to go eat off the dollar, meal at McDonald's. I'm going to go get the big gulp, quick trip, blue, super drink. And, I'm not going to worry about it. But one day you will worry about it. And one day there will be regret around those decisions that were made. We're just saying, look, we can take the confusion out of trying to figure out what you should take, what you shouldn't take, what's right for you, what isn't right for you. We create, using science, we create your unique formula. And then from a compensation standpoint, guys, the ability to earn, look, imagine having a 6-second commute to your spare bedroom office. Right in your house, you got your spare bedroom office. Now you're getting the tax breaks of all other business owners that they're entitled to. I had a tax advisor one time tell me, John, if you don't have a home-based business, he said, you're throwing money out the window. He said, for every mile you drive, you might as well throw $3 out the window. He said the tax benefits alone today, because today as Americans, we're taxed to death. If you don't have a way to offset that, if you don't have a way, I see it over and over. I see the people that work the hardest are the ones that get slapped the hardest. They're working their butts off. When they get their check, they see, all the different things that, Social Security tax, federal tax, some dude named FICA or FICA, he takes his share.
FICA, Micah, all of them.
FICA, Mike, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so now, we get what's left, and that's what we're supposed to live off. Now we're living paycheck to paycheck. We got more stress than we've ever had before. I mean, this is an amazing way, to build a serious supplemental income maybe at first. But here's what I tell people, guys. When your part-time income here exceeds your full-time income there, now you live in a world of I choose to, no longer in a world of I have to. I was sick of hearing people say, I have to do this, I have to do it. Like we live in, I don't know, Vietnam or North Korea, where we don't have to do anything. You can make a decision, start delivering a product of value, a product that's relevant, a product that makes sense to the marketplace. And why not be compensated? You can look at all the great success stories before us. They found a solution to a problem. They came and filled that problem better than anybody else. And, they did extremely well. So, Kyle, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to have you, wrap this thing up. Tell us your opinion on the business side of it, and we'll drive it home.
Absolutely. I mean, you just hit home. Like the tea and timing is more important than tea and talent. I mean, honestly, and you may or may not have heard that before, but it's true. I mean, how many people that you've heard that are not as good looking as you and not as, smart as you, but make more money than you because they are positioned, right place, right time, but they took action. And opportunity is only an opportunity if you take advantage of the opportunity, right? So if you're positioned in a quality space in a place where you actually have the ability to grow within an industry, that's the right timing. I mean, imagine going back, just going in the perspective of business, like John was talking about, filling a need, right, that exists. I mean, if you're able to go back in time and say, look, in the mid 90s, and you had the opportunity to get a piece of everyone's cell phone bill the last 20 years, I mean, how wealthy would you be today, right? When cell phones weren't even like commonplace today. Now it's a smartphone. Now, if you have a home phone, you're kind of weird. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's timing of that space in that industry. So being at that pivotal point where you can actually be in a paradigm shift where in the nutrition space where we're doing for the nutrition space what cell phones did to home phones or what CDs did, iPods did to CDs, right? Where that transition, where you can get a piece of all of that and you can position yourself with a company that found that solution and you can provide that solution to that, where 99 out of 100 people you talk to today and you talk to them about what it is that we do. Say, look, I mean, seriously, every single day I talk to people what I do because I have a conversation, right? And I just say, hey, look, what do you do? Okay. They tell me what to do. And I just share them with what I do. And all I do, I just let them know, hey, look, we have a unique product we're getting to market right now. It's custom designer nutrition based on people's DNA. And guess what? That's huge. That makes people super interested because it's new. It's inventive. It's a common sense concept, right? And if you can be first to market, if you can be with and partner with a company that has the right branding, has the right infrastructure, has the right, all of the things that we need for us to win, which we do, and then you can actually choose in and you go forward and don't have any doubts that most people do, because most people doubt themselves more than they doubt anything else. But if you can believe in yourself that you can actually win, but you understand that you actually in the right place, the right time, with the right company, the right people, the right leadership, which is what we have. And you can partner with John and I, and we can build something magnificent together. Guys, this is game changing. Will change not just your life, but not your family's life, but millions of lives. And John has been able to do that over the years. In the last 25 years in this industry, he's a phenomenal talent of positioning himself with a company that is the right timing of an industry that is poised for massive growth, and not just created phenomenal success himself financially, but bless so many other people's lives in that space. Guys, if you are looking for opportunity, if you're looking for really a true freedom experience, if you want to position yourself to be a part of a legacy company where you can have ongoing residual passive income, sitting on the beach, sipping coconut water, making lots of money income, guys, this is where we're at. So that being said, I would suggest getting back with the person that invited you here today, get more information, keep going down this path of discovery. If you're just hearing about this for the first time, if you're seeing a recording, or if you're just hearing this today live, get back with the person who invited you. Start seeing what we got going on, because it took John and I a few different touch points and getting to know the heart of it, getting to know the leadership, getting to know the little bit of the science of it. But guys, don't take too long, because this is going to happen. It's going to happen with or without you. It's going to happen with or without me. The question is, do you want the next piece, the next $600 billion that can be going through this industry in a short period of time? That being said, John, I'm going to bring it back to you. Close this baby out. We'll stop the recording, and we'll go from there.
That's it. Really just it's about building a financial wall around you and your family. The biggest challenge we've got is we're just bombarded every single day with everybody pitching us on something. The latest this, the greatest that. It's the old Ginsu knife thing. Today and today only. It was $4.95. We're going to slash the prices. Now it's down to $2. We're so desensitized by this crap. It just doesn't end. So, when you bring somebody in, you bring somebody on a line like this, and that they're looking, that they're looking to make changes. There's skepticism, and I expect that. I would just tell you, use common sense. I mean, today, the idea of blind nutrition, the idea of the next guru telling us what we should buy, or the next big corporation, mass producing something for us, we know, deep down that's probably not the best place for us to be. So, we got something truly unique. We're definitely disrupting, this industry. There's some big financial gains from it. I believe, that competition is coming, but by the time they come, we're so far ahead they can't even see our dust anymore. So I'm in this for the long-term residual income. What Kyle said, drinking out of that coconut money, so that no matter what I do, let's build a cash flow machine that allows us to have the time freedom. It's not just about the money; it's about time freedom. And unfortunately, or depending on how you look at it, that's to be free in our country. It's going to require some finances, and this is a great way to, in the beginning, build a little side hustle. If you got an extra 5-10 hours that you can carve out, let us show you a proven system. We've got an app where I just press buttons and send videos like this out, or send a video, a 3-minute, video that gets people's attention, shows them a little bit about the science. And I'm in the business of sorting. I'm not in the business of convincing. I'm not looking for salespeople. I'm looking for people who can push a button on an app and have the app send the video form, or set up a campaign right through the app where the app will actually drip on them. We'll send them a little information today, a little information, tomorrow, maybe next week, and use high tech along with our high touch, and have everything systematic, like McDonald's franchise. McDonald's, doesn't need a guy in a 3-piece suit hard closing people on Big Macs. I mean, it's a pretty simple process, and we're putting together the same type of system here, where you can, from the comfort of your own home, build a Fortune 500 type company, because we've got all the high tech tools available to us now for free that we never had before. And of course, the product makes sense, and that's clear and evident by the marketplace, what the market is saying. So that's it, guys. Get with the person that invited you. I appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you for all you do, and look forward to working with you guys. Thank you.